Dear God, it's Jonah Hill from Moneyball. Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast. This is episode 103, and we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. I am your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek, and before we get started, quick shout out to Henrik, our best Danish friend who we know is always listening, and IP Freely. Thank you guys so much for filling out that survey that we have on our website to help us grow the show. You guys are true bros, and as promised, we wanted to give you a shout out at the beginning of our next episode. Now, before we get started with the movie discussion, let's first go into the lab to meet the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Banner, what's your favorite springtime drink to cook up in the lab, and is it safe for our listeners to try to make it at home?
100% safe. So I like to do a tequila sunrise, but instead of orange juice, I use cranberry juice. Instead of tequila, I use vodka. And then rather than putting grenadine in it, I just drop a roofie in it.
It's called the Beta Special.
Yeah.
Or what was that fraternity? Some Big Ten school. They just like fucking made a kid drink so much whiskey that he died.
I mean,
I guess I need to be more specific.
Yeah, you can insert any fraternity into that.
Or that was also you.
Sounds like a barbecue at Thurman's house to me. But
Banner did the same thing to me our junior year of college, except it was
false. It was
Captain
rum.
Morgan.
Completely different.
That was the only clarification I was gonna make. Like, actually, it was Captain Morgan, which I don't think I've been able to drink since that day.
I can attest. I have tried to get you to drink it, and you will not.
Can't do it. I've drank a lot of gross shit, but that hasn't come back up.
Yeah.
Next, we go to our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Geiger, if you were ever considered to work as a bouncer at the Oscars, would you take the job just for a chance to rough up any particular celebrity?
I guess right now it'd be Joaquin Phoenix. We can't agree on much as Americans. We can't agree on Trump. We can't agree on immigration. We can't agree on climate control. But the one thing I thought we all could agree on is that cereal is kind of cool. But Joaquin Phoenix fucked that up for his Oscar speech. So now we can't even agree if cereal's cool.
Wait, what did he say about
bounced his ass. He was talking about how we like artificially inseminate cows and just take their babies from them and use milk to put in our coffee and cereal. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what'd cereal do? So it'd probably be him. I love cereal.
Well, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Well, that's a great segue, Geiger. We start every episode off here on the Bro 4 Squad podcast with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is our chest day topic. Ours today is discussing the 92nd annual Oscars, which were held this past Sunday. By the time you're listening to this, it'll probably be Wednesday. And this year's show was full of surprises, and we just wanted to do sort of a topic du jour of some of our thoughts, highlights, and lowlights. So how about we just go like around the triangle here. Each person bring up something that caught your eye, good, bad, or indifferent, and we can all talk about it. And I'll just start with the sort of a high-level one. 2 years in a row, the Oscars have gone without a host, and I personally liked this format. What did you guys think of how it worked for the second year? The first year, I don't want to say there were like kinks, but I think everyone was like, oh, this is going to be weird. I didn't even notice it last night. Well, I guess 2 nights ago, which I think was a good thing.
Yeah, I'll just say first off, I think this was better than the original, personally. Really bad joke, because it's the 92nd one. No.
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
Better than like the 1929 Oscars?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I went back and watched them all. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
I was like, are you trying to make fun of Steve Martin and Chris Rock since none of their jokes landed either? Or I don't
Chris
get it.
Rock had one good one about Bezos, but Steve Martin, I was like feeling embarrassed for him.
Yeah.
I think that the no host thing really works at the Oscars. I thought it worked last year as well. I mean, everybody gets all political and everything. I don't think we need to have a host make fun of all those people for doing that. I mean,
one thing I like about the no host, and maybe Geiger, this is what you like too, is they actually let the presenters do more of their shtick when they go up there, and I like that because like you get a bunch of different. Like I thought you might have thought it was stupid. I thought Will Ferrell's bit was pretty funny with him and Julia.
No, I liked his. I like the no host as well. The only people that don't like the no host, I think, are misconstrued on this isn't the Golden Globes. This is more of a tight knit. They're not as drunk. It's a really serious night. So even when we had a host, they couldn't really, be that funny or that vulgar. And honestly, man, it's already 3.5 fucking hours, so I'm fine. I actually, to bring it up, we'll probably touch on this later, but I'd like maybe some more musical numbers, not musical numbers from music that was in, the movies nowadays, but like throw it back and try to tie it into movies somehow, like they did with fucking Eminem. That was cool. Like you could do that. I mean, you could bring Kenny Loggins back and do Highway to the Danger Zone next year because Top Gun's out. I think that'd be badass.
That would be a good one. All right, what Geiger? Anything you wanted to bring up? We can just go one at a time.
I mean, so does anyone? Are we just gonna roast Scorsese, or do we feel bad that they didn't get any fucking love at all? First off, did you notice that De Niro wasn't there? And I doubt he had a prior engagement. He had 2 fucking movies up.
Pesci wasn't there either.
Well, Pesci wasn't at the Golden Globes either. Pesci didn't go to that kind of stuff, but De Niro loves to be heard. And the only reason I think he was at the Golden Globes is because he was getting recognized for like one of those Man of the Year things. But he is such a sore loser. And I actually kind of loved that they didn't get anything at the Golden Globes or the Oscars. I fucking loved it. What did you guys think?
I just can't wait for Scorsese's quote where now the problem is with the Oscars and not with his movie. I'm actually shocked they got shut out of this thing.
Can we agree the movie was a B-? Can we agree with that? It was an okay movie. Way too fucking long.
I didn't have 3 days to pencil in, so I didn't get to watch it.
It was a B- movie.
I think you're the only one here who's seen it.
Coming from somebody that like literally can watch 3 seasons of a show in 2 days, it was too long for me and I couldn't watch it.
Literally the last 45 minutes could be cut out. Nothing happens. And I'd rather watch Casino 3 times. That's one of my favorite movies ever. I know it's not like a high Scorsese movie to a lot of people, but that's head and shoulders above what this was. It just wasn't that good. It was so slow. These actors, I think they're not past their prime, but they're past like, I'm not scared of Pacino. He's like fucking 85 years old now. Like it's hard. Eastwood did this too, man. It comes to a point where like, I can't believe Clint Eastwood, 83, is going to beat the fuck out of a 28-year-old. I just don't see it, even though you age define him or whatever.
I think Bong Joon-ho completely helped save Martin Scorsese's face at the end by basically 100%. Saying like, by getting to see your films in South Korea is what inspired me to make movies. I was like, dude, he would have looked like a total fucking ass clown if you didn't just basically give him like a third of your award up there.
Yeah.
And Scorsese looked like he was about to cry when Bong Joon-ho said that. I don't know if it was because he was so embarrassed at how poorly the last 2 major award shows have gone for him, or if he was actually just happy and flattered.
Well, it also took him like 4.5 speeches before he mentioned Scorsese as well.
I loved how he mentioned Bong Joon-ho to me. I think him and Tarantino get along because every time Bong Joon-ho went up there, his translator kept going, he says he cannot wait to get drunk after the show.
Do you have a problem with Parasite winning?
Best Picture?
Any of them?
I mean, I'll save a little bit or a lot of my thoughts for Protein Shake in our review, but it's a really, really good movie. It won 6 Oscars. I'll just say this. I'm absolutely shocked that it won. Considering it didn't have an actor nomination. It won Best Director, Best Foreign Film, Best Picture, Best Editing. It was not Best... Did it win Best Screenplay? I can't remember.
I think it was, yeah.
Best Director, Best Overseas Film, whatever they call that, which it should have. I understand that. Best... Best Director, Best Picture... it won something else too. I can't remember.
I saw every nominated film for Best Picture except for 1917 and The Irishman. And Parasite, I think I liked Marriage Story a little bit better, but Parasite was really fucking good, man. I don't know.
Original screenplay.
There it is.
Let me rephrase this. Do you have a problem with it winning because at South Korea's film festival, 5 years ago, you think Django was up for Best Movie? Do you think Dallas Buyers Club was up for best? This is the problem I have, is that I'm all for movies around the world, but at other film festivals, they don't categorize American movies in their film festivals. So why should we on this is I mean this ain't even America's night. This is Hollywood's night. This is Hollywood's night, and probably one of the greatest movies I've ever seen about Hollywood that probably should have won is out because of this movie. Now I haven't seen it, and if I watch it and it's better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'll be the first one to admit it. Hell, it might be. I don't know. I just have a problem with if it's like that, we would be shamed as Americans, like, oh, you wouldn't let Parasite in. I was like, but Parasite wouldn't let fucking Marriage Story in their film festival. It's South Korean films. That's my question is, should it have won as much as it had? Because obviously most of the audience probably hasn't seen it.
Two things I'll say to that, and then I'll let Boehner go. This isn't if you remember, The Artist won Best Picture a few years ago, the French films. So this isn't even the first time this has happened. And then number two, those like respective film festivals in other countries, that's like their one chance to win awards. I mean, if you really want like Django to be up against 6 South Korean films with a combined budget of $4.5 million, I think you're kind of missing the point of that gives them a chance to be recognized, really. So the fact that this has happened 2 times in 92 years, I'm okay with it. Banner, what do you think?
I don't know. I never really thought about it, honestly. I don't know. Is there like a specific like form or like survey that they have to fill out to be
like check this
like,
box?
To be like considered for this award.
What
like
is
how
the
do they
catch?
pick?
Did they have full control of it, or
did it make
if
a
I had to
movie
guess,
move?
We've always had the foreign film category, to Geiger's point, to like give them a chance to be, and by them I mean like an international film to be recognized at the Oscars. But I'm guessing in the case of The Artist, which I actually fucking hated that movie, it was a black and white silent film. It's like everything the Bro Force Squad is against. But I think in the case of Parasite, the people in the Academy, and it's a younger, they've worked on making it more diverse. They were probably just watching that movie and they were like, dude, this is so fucking good. We should also put it up for Best Picture. Like, I don't think this will happen hardly ever, but I'm interested if you watch Parasite, because there's a lot of things that you would like, I think.
Yeah, and I'm getting a lot of people that I trust saying that I'd like it. The last thing I'm going to say about this, Jeff, is I just hated this Oscars, and the reason why is one of my favorite Oscars is Dallas Buyers Club, because honestly, Leto and McConaughey are my boys, and they gave great speeches. I just felt I got robbed from a Tarantino speech. Joaquin Phoenix is the most... like, I feel like he's going to shoot up the place. Then Renee Zellweger, I'm like, God, I'd rather have heard Leo's speech or Charlize Theron's or somebody fucking else, even though I don't agree that Charlize Theron should have been up for it. I thought she was terrible as Megyn Kelly. But I just thought I got robbed because everyone that won, I'm like, oh, God, here comes a bore fest. I don't even care. It wasn't even that political. Like, I mean, that didn't even bother me as much. It's just like, God, what they're going to say is going to be just stupid and weird, pretty much. And that's what we got all night.
We'll get to Renee Zellweger in a second. I have some great things I want to say about her speech. Banner, anything that caught your eye?
Yeah, you mentioned Joaquin Phoenix. Whatever he's on, I'll take 2. And then whatever Renee Zellweger's on, I don't want anything to do with that.
She's on another planet.
She had no idea what was going on. I don't think she knew she won an Oscar, honestly.
I guess we'll talk about it now. She at one point mentioned Neil Armstrong and then our first responders. I was like, where are we going with this?
Okay, I want to talk about that. Whenever she was talking about our heroes, all I could think about was Vince Vaughn from fucking Wedding Crashers being like, the horror on the street corner, your mother, Harry Potter, if he existed. I'm just like, she's just like, like honestly, Jeff, I'm rewatching the Oscars and she's still naming them. Like, she's on commercial breaks, like Nat King Cole, Joe Jackson, Ron Simmons. Like, what? The wrestler? Yeah, I mean, he was good, right? I mean, I guess.
It's like when a kid. It's like when a kid has like his Transformers and then like a fucking Street Shark toy, and he's like, they're all fighting together. You're like, those two things have nothing to do with each other. That's like what Renee Zellweger's speech was thanking.
Jesus Christ.
One thing real quick I'll say about her, pose a question to you guys. So I didn't see Judy, so I won't comment on her performance or I thought really the only other person that was strong enough of all the other movies I saw was maybe Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story. Yes. But do you think this will have a similar, not to the level obviously, because I don't think she's can play as many different types of roles. But will Renee Zellweger have a sort of reconnaissance, or do you think this was sort of just an aberration, kind of like a one-off that she got to win this award again?
I think she will, but I think it'll be in TV because TV is huge now, and I think TV is more like where Patricia Arquette, people that honestly I can't stand you on an actual movie set, but some of these lower directors that are doing TVs, like I can because you're actually a really good actress. So I think I could see her in like a really serious like TV show or something like that. But she just honestly, Jeff, she's not that marketable. Like if I see Renee Zellweger on a movie thing, I'm like, oh my God, I got to see that movie. Not like a ScarJo or Jennifer Lawrence or someone like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a resurgence. I think she may do a couple other movies, but they won't be as
like she's not going to be in like a DC
chips?
or a Marvel movie.
Yeah, like make more noise.
Good job, Renee. That was great. I can do more. Now we're good.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be in anything as notable as this, but she'll have a few movies and then she'll go away again for, 10 years?
Sounds about right. Okay, let's just get to it. So Joaquin Phoenix's speech. We don't have to talk about it too much, but did you guys know he's engaged to Rooney Mara? Like, when they get married, Joaquin Phoenix is going to be up in the fucking owner's booth at New York Giants games.
I did know that because he talked about it at his Golden Globe speech, and I started Googling it. But I wasn't aware until then, no.
My fiance
I don't know if he's quite aware of it either.
My fiance is a huge New York Giants fan, and I was like, he's about to be in the Mara family. He's going to be making decisions in the front office of your football team, and she freaked out. She's like, he's staying the fuck away from us.
Banner, remember in school, like, and it might have been one of us, I don't know, I don't think it was me, but whenever the teacher would call on someone to read, and it'd be like Jim, and Jim can't read very well, and he's reading aloud, and you felt really awkward and weird and kind of bad for him. That's how I fucking feel when Joaquin Phoenix is handed an award and said, okay, you got 10 minutes, give us a speech. I'm just like, I want this to be over. I feel bad for him, even though I shouldn't, and I also just feel a sick thing in my stomach every time he talks.
Yeah, I had no idea what he was talking about. Like, I don't even think he knew what he was talking about. Renee Zellweger was on one planet, and he was on the complete opposite other planet. Neither one of them were on Earth, though.
I did think it was, I don't know if it was like disingenuous or if he just forgot to say it, but like at the very end of his speech, they're like playing him out with the music, and he goes, also my brother's River Phoenix, he killed himself. He said it like as he was walking off the stage. I'm like, dude, lead with that.
I kind of like that, though, because I am a huge River Phoenix fan. I love Stand By Me. I love that.
No, I'm too. Mentioned him earlier. Talk about him more. Don't like.
Yeah,
what his speech should have been. Johnny Depp and a bunch of hookers in the Viper Room. I mean, that's allegedly an awesome story in LA. No, that's
what
true.
He should have done is said, "Hey, my brother inspired me to do this. This is for you," and then walked away before that edible kicked in.
Dude, his brother never would have wanted to party with Joaquin. Like, there's no way.
River was actually like, I mean, he partied with Depp in like the 90s. So he was like the coolest of the cool. Joaquin Phoenix is definitely like the odd younger brother. Like, have you ever seen Little Giants? Like, Joaquin Phoenix is Rick Moranis, pretty much.
Hey,
check out his commentary.
All Joaquin has to do is beat River one time down Cherry Hill.
You beat River down Cherry Hill?
I knew things were headed downhill.
That's the greatest plug for a fucking commentary we've ever
That really is.
How the hell did we connect these two?
But I knew things were going to go downhill the way Joaquin Phoenix accepted his award, and he did that thing, and this is bad podcasting because I'm going to act it out, but where he like turns it towards him and like looks at it, and I just said to myself, oh God, he's about to fucking go off.
Like he just found a fossil or something. Like, what is this? Is this a reptile? I don't know. Like, really?
Jesus Christ. It's like when you're like that one uncle at Christmas sits down in the chair, he has all the young cousins around him, and he pours himself like a scotch, and he starts like twirling the glass in his hand. You're like, get out of the room now. Yeah. 2-hour story that we've heard before.
All right, can we talk about Shady real quick? Because that was probably the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. The Oscars, I never use the word cool, always are like, that was fucking stupid, or that was weird, or that was awkward. But that was the coolest thing I've ever seen at the Oscars.
The montage they had before was badass. I actually want to
It
go back and
was.
watch. And Banner, as a lover of scores and soundtracks, I'm sure you were just cumming your pants.
I was. I had no idea. I didn't understand why he was there. I missed that, but I didn't care.
See, a lot of people did, but I knew exactly why he was there. They were basically showing songs that every time I hear this song on the radio, I think of that movie. Highway to the Danger, pretty much every Kenny Loggins song. Don't you forget about me, Breakfast Club. So it led in, and then it started hitting the fucking 8 Mile. I was like, oh yeah, fucking Lose Yourself, definitely 8 Mile. Okay, I was like, oh, we're not gonna play this. Eminem's gonna perform it. That makes sense. That's really cool.
I get all that. I was just wondering why, like, this specific Oscars he was there, because he won in 2002. So this is like the 18, not the 20 year.
His new album just dropped, yo, and he wasn't there in 2002 to accept it because he didn't think he'd win.
Correct. But I thought they would do. I mean, I'm never going to complain about a Slim Shady performance of "Lose Yourself," but I was actually mad at myself. I was like, did I miss something? Like, why?
What's great? This is what I took out of it. Everyone in that room sucks at acting, because when some other person that has an agenda, like, oh, she's a woman, we better stand up and clap, or this person. They were fucking into that shit. Like, Eminem, like, everyone was singing it. Everyone's into it. It wasn't like a fake, like, Tom Hanks. I have no clue who this bitch is, but I'm going to pretend to sing because I want everyone to think I'm woke. Like, they were into that fucking shit. Every single person they turned to was, like, knew every lyric. It was awesome.
Except for, guess who? Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
I wish it would have been like the national championship where you get like, you can have a camera on each of the coaches. I just want a fucking camera on him when he's like, palms weak, mom's spaghetti. And Scorsese's like, when is this going to be about me again?
Yeah, this should be about me.
He was not happy. But just seeing him, Slim Shady and Eminem there alone was pretty fucking cool. Because I didn't know, like, what if he was on good terms with the Oscars or what their relationship was like. Because I knew he had kind of a weird, like, they were kind of pissed he wasn't there in 2002.
I don't know.
I mean, it's Eminem. Like,
he's on drugs back then. Yeah, he's pissed off everyone.
Yeah, he pissed off half of America, and he's still here.
I do love how the left-leaning party is waving his flag, even though he's probably done more to demean gay people than anyone in this fucking world. But that's fine. Him and Elton hugged, so it's all good.
I wish Elton would have performed with him, dude. Like, what a wasted opportunity.
That's what I texted you guys. I'm like, please, my God, Elton is going to perform. Please do Stan. What if Eminem came out again? That'd be fucking awesome.
I bet Elton said that. Marshall, we should have done Stan.
Oh, man.
What are we thinking? We're not. That's the simple. We're not thinking. That's the thing. God, that's a horrible Elton John impression. One last thing I had. So Brad Pitt obviously won. That was his first Oscar, apparently. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I was like, damn, really?
I was looking, what else would he have gotten it for besides maybe Best Supporting Actor in Legends of the Fall? That's the only thing I think he would have maybe gotten it for. Other than that, he's not going to get Best Actor for Fight Club. I mean, that's such a bro kind of cult classic movie. That's not like a
maybe
Best Picture
Troy.
Movie. No, Troy was hated when it came out, though.
What was that? Fuck.
Like by a lot of I mean, not by me. I thought it was fantastic. As a fan of Greek mythology, I thought it was great. Obviously, it was very not historically correct, but I thought it was a really good movie. But it was like really bashed for a while,
No, it was a documentary.
In the director's cut thing with Wolfgang, and I can't remember what exactly happened, but it was really hated.
I wish he would have been nominated for Moneyball. That would have been cool.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm surprised he wasn't nominated for that.
Inglourious Bastards, he didn't get any love for.
He was barely in that, though. I mean, I wouldn't even call him a supporting actor in that.
The movie I actually thought he won for was Babel in 2006, looking back up through his... With him and Cate Blanchett.
Moneyball is probably one of those weird years where you had 12 fucking awesome movies.
Yeah.
He's kind of got lost in the shuffle.
And Babel was directed by Alejandro Inarritu, who did Birdman and The Revenant. That's the one I thought he won for. But
yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I mean, but it makes sense. He's like a famous actor that just hasn't done many Oscar nominated, maybe not films, but like he just hasn't particularly gone for those roles. But when
Same with Leo, man, he's only won one Oscar. That's insane.
but he's been nominated, I feel like 5 times, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Brad Pitt hasn't even had the. Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't nominated for Sinbad: Legend of the Seven Seas.
It's because it was animated. I mean, animated movies get no love. That's the problem.
Snub.
You got to play the fucking game, man. Banner, to that point, last thing I had, Toy Story 4 winning Best Animated Feature. I don't dislike that movie at all. Check out our review. But it just goes to show kind of a weak year for animated feature films, don't you think?
Yeah, extremely weak year. I mean, you have the 18th How to Train a Dragon movie and some Netflix Christmas movie. Like, of course it's going to win.
Wasn't Missing Link with Zach Galifianakis nominated too?
Yes.
Damn.
And then I Lost My Body. I don't know what that is.
It's basically like they were like, hey, who here made an animated film? Just write it down and pass it up, okay? Although I heard that Klaus is how they pronounce the Santa Claus movie. I actually heard that was pretty good.
Well, either way, it's not going to win against Toy Story 4. I mean,
Kick kaboom.
hey, at least Tom Hanks he won by proxy, right?
Dude, was it him who presented about the museum?
Yeah.
I kind of want to go check that out.
I think it would be cool.
Squad trip.
Definitely. We'll be kicked out for being so drunk, but we'll drop so many business cards in there when we're walking around.
I mean, maybe the Academy will hire us.
Definitely.
I think we have good taste.
Do you think they sell beer there?
They should.
We could sneak it in. It's like, is that a rolly cooler? Yeah, we're not bothering anybody.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I had. Anything that I left out that you guys wanted to talk about before we move on?
I don't think so. I got it all off my chest.
Nope. Feeling good.
Good. You guys will sleep better tonight. All right, the next part of our show is our protein shake, where we go around the group and talk about what's in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. So Geiger and I, we can save Bachelor till the end. Besides that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Banner, how many do you have?
12 and a half.
Banners, yes.
12 and a half? Do you really have 12 and a half?
It's been like 3 weeks since I've been on a show.
You want to like chop that in half or something?
Yeah.
Shit.
A lot of them will go really fast, actually.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
How about you?
I got 3.
All right. Here, let me bust 17 of these out real quick.
All right. But I might have questions, so be prepared.
That's fine. Rewatch Infinity War and Endgame back to back.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's the only way to do it, and it's awesome.
Is Infinity War on Disney Plus yet, or still on Netflix?
I think it's still on Netflix. I own it, so I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. I did watch Marriage Story. Loved it. It was kind of weird watching it with my wife because we both were like, "Oh my god, this is like extremely realistic." But
before
really,
you
really
think about getting divorced, you need to watch that movie. I think.
I thought it did a really good job of making you love each of them at times and hate each of them at times.
Yeah, it was very hard. Like, they did a very good job at not making you. Neither one of them was the bad guy.
True.
At the end,
Ray Liotta has an incredible quote where he goes, "If we start from a place of reasonable and they start from a place of crazy, where do we end up? Between reasonable and crazy. We both have to start from a point of crazy. That way we can settle on reasonable." And you're like, that actually makes total sense.
I mean, negotiating 101.
Laura character was great.
Laura Dern was absolutely fantastic. She earned that Academy Award, and I was very pleased that she won that. Watched the original Lion King, as well as the new live-action Lion King. Guys, I don't like the new one.
Really?
Yeah, there were a couple things that I did like, but there were a lot of things I didn't like.
The music doesn't go as hard was my problem.
Yeah, my problem too with Nala and Can You Feel the Love Tonight is all I hear is Beyonce. Like she didn't do anything to try and disguise her voice at all, which I mean I guess is fine, but it was really hard for me to accept that. I liked what they did with Timon and Pumbaa having their own little community. That was pretty cool. I like what they did with the hyenas. Just kind of like they weren't following Scar so much. That was cool. Other than that, I didn't like anything. I actually thought that what's his name? Mufasa. I thought that he didn't.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. I thought he did a poor job.
He's getting up there, man. It's just tough.
He seemed like he was just like we were interrupting like his dinner or something by asking him to read these lines the whole time. It really.
I bet he read half of them at the dinner table. In between,
I know. He's just like, "What do you want?" Back in '94, I cared. Like, what do you want me to do with this? It's the exact same lines too.
Yeah. Which is maybe that was why I didn't like it. I don't know. And this movie was like 45 minutes too long. The original is 88 minutes. This is 118.
Damn.
Why does it need to be that long?
I haven't seen it since it came out. Where do they like add so much to it? Like, is there more in the beginning in the Pride Lands before he goes off? Or
there's a little bit more there. They added a song. I think they just tried to show their dick at like, hey, we can make these animals talk a little too much. I don't know. It was like everywhere they added an extra sentence or like a little sprinkle of something, and it didn't need to be added.
Now that I think about it, they didn't have Be Prepared by Scar in the new one, did they?
They did, but it was very, very different.
Oh, yeah. He just like talks through.
He more like, yeah, it was not.
I love that song too. Now I feel really robbed.
Yeah. Keep on trucking here real quick. We also watch Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park 1 and 2. Yeah. Watch that movie all the time. Also watch The Lost World, at least the first 2 acts. Got nothing.
Till they leave the island and come back, it's good.
Yeah. It sucks once they leave and go to San Diego and release a Tyrannosaurus Rex on Charger Stadium.
One thing I've always wondered, and maybe there's a simple explanation of this, how did a T-Rex sneak off the boat without anyone like noticing it?
Well, what I want to know is how did a big T-Rex like kill all the people so that the boat crashed?
When they go back to San Diego, what happens to Vince Vaughn's character? Is he there with them?
No, he's just gone filming women.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
How cool is the scene where the chick does gymnastics and kicks that raptor?
Yeah, that's where it starts to go downhill real quick.
There's no hill, it's a fucking cliff, dude.
Yeah.
But that raptor scene in the grass before that is awesome.
That's one of the best. That's probably the best scene in the entire franchise.
It's probably my favorite, at least.
Oh yeah, forgot. Going back to Lion King, we watched Lion King 1.5.
Love that movie.
Absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's Timon and Pumbaa. It's Lion King, but from Timon and Pumbaa's point of view. There are a couple bangers in it. It's a good one.
I don't remember the songs, but is that basically like what happened, what Timon and Pumbaa were doing during the beginning of The Lion King?
Yeah, so it's like they go back before the beginning of Lion King, and you show why, like how Timon and Pumbaa got together, and then it goes on to them meeting Simba, and then what they did during the big fight at the end.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's a really good movie. It's really cute. It's on Disney Plus. Geiger, you'll be watching it soon, I'm sure.
Same voices, right? Like Nathan Lane came back for it? Okay.
Yep. And then watch John Wick and John Wick 2, because John Wick 3 is on HBO. So I'll be watching that coming up.
God, we need a commentary so bad on those.
Obviously, I had to refresh my memory with the first 2, and they're fantastic. That's the only way to say it. The choreography and the fight scenes is fantastic. The music kicks in at the right time. The way that they only have a subtitle sometimes and the way they do it is so cool.
And how intentionally hilarious is it that Ruby Rose is such a bad actor that they make her mute?
Yeah, she can't even fucking talk.
Director's like, You cast Ruby Rose, I have to put her in this shit? I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. He's like, well, she's gonna be mute.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
she
Yeah,
can't
no,
talk.
she's not talking. It's genius.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna unload everything here. Watch the first two Toy Stories as well.
I need to see Toy Story 2 again. I love me some Emperor Zurg.
There's some good Zurg stuff in there.
They're in Al's Toy Barn, a lot of that one, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one where Woody gets stolen.
And Kelsey Grammer is
The Prospector.
The Prospector, that's
Yeah.
right. Damn, there's a dark twist in that one, right?
It's pretty dark, yeah. Well, at least for like as dark as Pixar can get.
Right.
I've also come to the conclusion that Woody's a bad guy.
Ooh.
Defend that point.
Woody's a villain. Okay, so in the first one, he just wants to kill Buzz, and then when he realizes that he did it and everybody hates him, then he tries to get back on everybody's good side. In the second one, he decides, oh, I'm going to abandon all my friends and go to Japan.
He's joining his family.
Please, the family that left him?
You think Bullseye and Jesse knew about him and left him?
Of course they did.
It's disgusting. Bite your fucking tongue.
In the third one, he hates the fact that they are leaving Andy, and he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to be played with anymore. Please.
I mean, I think you have a good case in the original one, but in the others, it just seems like he's prioritizing one relationship over the other. I mean, like, he at least has feelings for somebody.
Yeah, himself.
I don't know. I think you see what you want to see. What else?
That was it.
Wow, what was the half thing? Was that like 1.5?
No, it was. We watched the first episode of McMillions.
Oh yeah. How many episodes is there going to be of that?
I have no idea. It's intriguing just because I didn't know any of this. One of the detectives on there, I want to shoot him in the head. Oh my god, he's so fucking.
I don't think you should say that.
Yeah, on like this is recorded too. It's in the phone
okay, I don't actually want to shoot him. He's just really annoying.
We're actually gonna put this on YouTube and
so we can edit that, right?
Yeah, I mean we could. You can go in and do it. I'm interested in this. I didn't even know this was a scandal. I just knew I never fucking won Monopoly, but I'd always get like, which is the one that you can get all the time? Boardwalk or Park Place, but you could never get the other one.
Yeah. I think it's Boardwalk is one you got, and Wahlberg's behind this too. I think he's like executive producing on this.
I'm gonna expose the McDonald's Corporation, okay? Not only do they sell high caloric food,
especially with Wahlburgers, follow the money, everyone. Did this even really happen?
That's true.
Yeah, it's interesting so far. Again, like you said, I didn't know about the scandal, so I'm intrigued. Dude. I kind of hate that it's a series and I have to wait week to week.
I was gonna say I wish it was just a documentary, but
yeah.
Do we know how many times they just let this fucking family win McDonald's Millions?
I don't yet. I haven't looked anything up because then there's no point in me watching the show. But from what it sounds like, there is a huge web of like 10 people that all won.
God.
That were all connected.
And was McDonald's involved, or was it just like someone in marketing or whatever that was doing that?
So they outsourced their marketing, that company came up with the game, and it was the head of security. Well, so far they're pointing towards the head of security of that marketing firm.
Damn. I'm McInterested.
Okay, leave.
All right, Matt, what did you watch aside from Bachelor?
So, went and saw The Gentleman. We haven't talked about this on pod, have we? Did you talk about it last
I talked about it a little bit without you, but yeah, we haven't got to talk about it together.
Okay. Jeff really liked it. I thought it was fine. It's really Guy Ritchie. If you like Two Smoking Barrels and all that stuff, it's very Cockney. So if you like those type of movies, you'll dig this. Perfect role for Charlie Hunnam. This is what he needs to be doing. Also watched Ghost of Mississippi. Jeff and I will talk about Just Mercy here in a little bit, but it kind of got me on a kick of the South in the 60s and how they kind of wrongfully accuse a lot of African Americans. I think we forget how good Whoopi Goldberg was as an actress. People might just know her now on The View, but she is fantastic in this. Alec Baldwin's great. James Wood is great. True story, too, about Medgar Evers, who is probably kind of like fourth down from Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement. Very good movie, about 2 hour long watch, but you're just hooked the entire fucking time. Watched Donnie Brasco, which is on Netflix now.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
Oh my God. Pacino, Depp in their prime. So fucking good. If you guys like Goodfellas, you need to watch Donnie Brasco, man. This is a great fucking movie. Pacino is so good at this. Also has Madsen, I think, before Reservoir Dogs, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a great fucking movie about the mob. Lastly, I'm going to talk about shit I watch, man. And I'm into this as a joke, but it also wasn't that bad. The XFL and their marketing, I love football on Saturdays. Fucking love it. Like, my favorite time of the year is Wild Card Weekend because we get Saturday Night Football. And if you can give me, like, March, since we live in the South, on a patio watching football, like XFL football, I'm fucking in. And a lot of their new rule changes and the way we get to hear the plays and shit, I kind of liked it. I mean, obviously some of the games weren't as competitive as I wanted them to be or as high scoring. But I think once, the teams kind of get their feet with under them and, offense is always behind defense because it's all timing. I think it'll be a fun league to watch, man. 8 teams, just give us something after the NFL. And if we can just kind of treat it like kind of a joke, but it's also fun just to drink beer and watch, I'm in. It's fucking cool.
Sorry, a couple questions I had. With The Gentleman, what did you think of Colin Farrell's character? Because he was my favorite part of the whole movie.
I absolutely loved him. And then afterwards, I was just thinking, there's a lot of actors I'm just like, what the hell happened to him? Talk about the Oscars again. When they talked about Gina Davis, she looks gorgeous. What the hell happened
She
to her?
does.
What happened to
She
Sean
looks
Williams?
great.
Yeah. What happened to Sean Williams Scott? What happened to Colin Farrell? Like, a lot of these people, like, Sean Williams Scott, last thing I remembered him in was Role Models, and he was fantastic. Colin Farrell, I can't think of a role where I watched it. I'm like, man, Farrell just wasn't that good. He's great in fucking everything. He was good in Horrible Bosses. He was probably the best person in Daredevil.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't bad as Bullseye. He really wasn't, if you go back and rewatch it. But yeah, he was fantastic. I don't know if I know he has kind of an alcohol problem, but I don't
Who doesn't?
know if that's keeping him close. Farrell, I mean, he's Irish. But he was fantastic in it. He's other than, I'm a big Hunnam guy. McConaughey was just for me. He was fine, but Farrell definitely stole the show for sure.
Yeah. Ghost of Mississippi. I'm guessing James Woods plays a racist.
Yeah. And they put him on trial like 30 years after the murder, so he has to wear prosthetics, which is kind of cool. Very, very good movie though.
That's interesting. The XFL, do we know if this next weekend it's also Saturday and Sunday? Because I'll definitely give it a shot, at least on Saturday.
I think they all are.
I think they all are. I think it's an afternoon. It's like a early afternoon, late afternoon game, Saturday and Sunday.
There's only 8 teams, so I think there's 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday games.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So does everybody make the playoffs? Do we know? Are they just hoping they have enough money to even worry about that?
I'm not sure.
I don't think they even have standings yet.
Yeah,
I think that they're just
I
like,
haven't
hey,
watched it enough to get in that.
it's just like it's like intramurals. They figure it out after like 6 weeks.
The only one thing I'll say, and keep an eye out for this because I read the rules. So you can do 2 forward passes, Jeff, but no one did it. I didn't see anyone do it at the games I watched.
What?
But you can do 2 forward passes.
It has, as long as they catch it behind the line of scrimmage, they can pass it forward again.
Yeah.
So you could do like a screen, and as long as he's behind the line, he can throw it again. But you can't like throw it 40 yards and then he throws it forward.
I don't think.
Yeah. Well, honestly, with some of the talent I saw, they might chase him back 40 yards and he would chuck it up.
Yeah. But
that's my only complaint.
I'm
is that
interested in seeing that, and the kickoff rule I think the NFL should do. That was
I
perfect.
love that.
It still got kickoffs into the game, but it was way safer. Because I'm not for getting rid of kickoffs because you're getting rid of a lot of jobs for people because that's how they make teams. Like when you're watching Hard Knocks, most of those people you're meeting, they're only going to make it through like kickoffs. That's it, special teams.
It sounds like their version of doing it too. You could still break one for a touchdown. In fact, it might even be easier because instead of a coverage team getting like 40 yards to corral you and take their lanes, like you catch the ball and they're just right in front of you. If you
Yeah.
break a tackle, you might be gone.
And I love hearing the lingo between, the offense coordinator and the quarterback and all that stuff. That's fucking badass. That's really cool.
See, that's where I'm confused. Sorry, Banner. Go for it.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's cool that all the skill players have earpieces, so they can call audibles from up in the booth, and they don't have to like actually call an audible. He just has to tell his lineman. I thought that was really cool. And then, yeah, like you were saying, I just like hearing their lingo, but they have to change their code names every week, then, right?
You would think so, yeah. See, this is the thing where I think that the XFL is not taking themselves too seriously. But so as a golfer, and me and Thurman talk about this a lot, I would love to hear like the Sunday at the Masters last year. I would love to hear a live Mike on Tiger talking about winds to the left. It's a 7-iron, but I'm going to take it 6 to cut it down, and like just talk about a strategy on how to play a hole. I think that's the most interesting thing in sports. And like football, obviously, is just such a fucking chess game. So that's the one thing I was wondering too, Banners. Like, so, I mean, obviously anyone can watch that. It's on ESPN. Do like, so now they got their calls. So I don't, I'm not sure about that, but
that sounds cool for golf. But when I'm watching football, I don't want to know the play before it happens. I don't know. I just think it'd be a weird way to watch.
I don't know. I thought it was cool because if the NFL, I don't want the NFL to adapt a lot of this because the NFL is cool not to know the play. But with this, if you're like a young kid playing football, I think it'd be cool to like learn like stuff like that. Like I would love to hear like Barry Bonds in the box talking about like, okay, I'm going to set fastball here because this is how he set up the other person or something like that. Just getting into the mind of an athlete or how they do their system, I think is very interesting.
It's like a live movie commentary for sports.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
What'd you feel about the in-game interviews?
See, I kind of like that too, especially when they came off the field and someone like missed a tackle. They're like, "Hey, what do you think about?" Obviously, the NFL you can't do that because they're so high paid. They'd be like, "Get the fuck out of my face!" Like, people miss tackles.
Yes.
But I like the interviews with the players on and
I
off
liked
the
it
field.
with the coaches too. Like they were like calling a play in the middle of talking to the announcers. I thought that was cool.
I mean, obviously, baseball's been doing this for a while, where they'll talk to a coach in between innings and stuff. But Dude, I like it. I liked a lot of the stuff I saw. I thought there's a lot of nice, fresh, creative ideas.
I like too on the official replays where you get to hear what the referees are talking about, and
so
like
then
you can
no thing is like, oh, so and so had money on this game. That's why. They're like, you actually hear
you hear their thought
this
process. Yeah. This is what I'm seeing, because there was one of them I didn't see what he was seeing. I was like, what is he fucking talking about? And then it went to another angle, and I was like, now I get it.
Yeah. And I think it took a while, but I think once they get going, it's going to be way quicker than NFL because there's actually a Sky Judge that all he does is his camera is above the field, and there's two guys, and they're watching the play and then also watching the yardage and the clock. So if the play is, incomplete, or like, okay, we're bringing it back. It's 2nd and 15. The clock should be set at 1:10. Go, spot it. It's just way quicker. I love it.
Once they get a little bit better talent in there, I think it'll be really, really good.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot this weekend. Anything else, Matt?
No.
All right. I'll try to be quick with most of this. I saw Parasite. Obviously, after the Oscars, I was pretty hyped to see this. Saw it last night. I will save my thoughts for the review that Cycly and I believe Thurman and I are going to do. So check that out. It should be on iTunes very shortly after this. But you'll get our full thoughts on that. I watched the Netflix docu-series Don't Fuck with Cats. Banner, did you see this?
Of course I saw this.
Okay, I thought you were for sure you understood. God damn.
The internet is savage.
It is. It's gonna be okay. So let's condense this down to like a 1-minute conversation.
Yeah.
This is fucking nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And the Luca Magnotta guy. I mean, where do we even start?
I don't
this
know,
piece
man.
of work.
Jesus
Christ.
Basically, to catch everybody up, there is a guy that posts him murdering little kittens on the internet. And then this group of internet people who saw this basically team up and dissect the things that they see in that video so that they can figure out where he's at, go to the authorities, and are like, this guy's going to kill somebody. And then they don't do anything about it. Then that guy actually kills somebody, and the internet finds where he's at before the police do.
Now, spoilers, skip ahead 30 seconds or a minute if you don't want to know what happens. But when they're interviewing Luca Magnotta's mom, I mean, I was like, dude, I almost feel bad for this woman.
I felt really bad.
She believes the bullshit that he tells her.
Yeah.
He's like, no, there was this guy named Manny Lopez who was telling me to do it the whole time. And one of the guys in the documentary goes, Manny Lopez is the villain in Basic Instinct. Which is like the movie that he like idolized.
He idolized it.
Like if I told my mom,
movie to idolize.
Mom, this guy named Darth Vader is telling me to do everything, and then my mom was on camera like, well, you should be looking for this Darth Vader guy, because he's the real one who's behind all this. And then when he gets caught, his interrogation film, it's so crazy how these guys go for they just get emasculated so quick. They're so brave behind the internet when they're stabbing somebody who's drugged up, but the second he's sitting in a fucking interrogation room with a cop, he's the most meek, feeble, like soft piece of shit you've ever seen on earth. He's like, I'm
crack so hard.
I'm cold. And the guy's like, I mean, I'll get you a coat, but you're still going to jail for the rest of your fucking life. So it's just so like, you want me to feel bad for you because whatever, man. Fuck that guy. It got my blood boiling, but it is crazy. Like, basically, the moral of the story, if you're back from the skipping ahead for spoilers, don't commit any crime, because this day and age, some guy in his parents' basement in Ottawa is going to catch you.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way he can get off on a crime now.
I mean, the way they track this guy, he took like a photo on his balcony a few years ago, and you can see like kind of a gas station behind him. This guy like Google Earths him and like finds the exact street corner and looks up at the apartment complex that he's in.
Like they figured out that he was in Canada, like based on a concrete
vacuum cleaner in the background of his video.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the vacuum.
It's like this, whatever. Because there's a fucking chat room for everything. There's one for like people trading vacuum cleaners, and this guy's like, "Oh yeah, that's the Auric 271D. It's only sold in Vancouver, British Columbia."
Yeah. A.
Yeah, they say A at the end.
They typed that. They typed out A.
Typed out A.
Okay. I also saw Just Mercy, that Michael B. Jordan, Brie Larson, Jamie Foxx.
Oscar snub.
I think it's weird because I was trying to think, which acting performance, Geiger, did you think was best in this movie?
Michael B. Jordan.
I go back and forth between him and Jamie Foxx, but Banner, sorry to bring this up, but you know what just pissed me off the whole time? What? I'm like, what the fuck was your Electro performance if we know this is how you can act? I mean, he should be embarrassed for the way he mailed in that job, dude. It's pathetic.
I'll have to say, Michael B. Jordan, not up for Best Actor, and Jamie Foxx, not up for Best Supporting Actor, and that movie not up for, Best Picture, something. That I can understand why they think the Oscars are so white, because that movie is fantastic.
Will it qualify? Because it didn't come out till will it qualify for next year?
Same time as 1917. Came out the exact same time. It was in select theaters on Christmas, just like 1917, and a natural release on like January something, just like 1917.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird deal.
And Banner, you're racist for asking that. So.
No, I was just trying to. Maybe it would.
I just thought it was weird that it didn't get mentioned at all, because a lot of times it has the whole Oscar recipe, right? It's based on a true story. It has really strong performances. It's a period piece. It's like, dude, this is all the things.
Yeah,
it checks all the boxes.
Very, very good movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Probably the best death row scene I've ever seen, Jeff.
Oh,
with
man.
The electric chair.
That's so fucking intense.
That's probably the best one I've ever seen.
And that's not a spoiler for the movie, by the way. Also, Tim Blake Nelson, really, really good in this as well. That line where he's like, I'll take a sun-kissed orange, and some jujies. And
God, he was great in this.
Juicy fruits. It's only like 3 scenes, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's like built for this type of role. And sorry, Tim Blake Nelson, because you play a racist white man who frames a black person. He's like, what do you mean I was built for this role? Fuck you. The last movie I saw, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, let's not bury the lead here because we'll talk about it in a second, was Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. We took a Twitter yesterday where we asked people, did you like the movie or are you sexist? And I believe 58% said they were sexist. And
That's the Elizabeth Banks scoring metric, by the way.
Yeah. Did you like it or are you sexist? I will just say I did not enjoy this film. And I am a huge comic book fan. Harley Quinn and the Batman animated series, I fucking love. And obviously I love Margot Robbie. I love Ewan McGregor. I love pretty much everything Rosie Perez is in and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley.
Sounds like you love this.
Did not enjoy this film. I'd rather not say my gripes with it.
I'll say this on that, and maybe it's just how I'm watching my like content and things like that, but I didn't even see a fucking trailer on this movie. And maybe that's because they knew it was going to be this bad.
Sorry, when I said Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, I meant Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I got my 3-person names confused.
I think they did the Charlie's Angels thing where they screened the movie and the higher ups were like, this is the biggest piece of shit ever. Cut the marketing so we at least make 50 million off that. Instead of spending 100 million on marketing, we're just spending 50. That's probably what happened.
Well, at the end of the show, we'll get into the marketing department at Warner Brothers is reacting. They're knee-jerking pretty hard here on how to save this thing. We started as a comic book movie podcast, and I'll probably see every comic book movie this year in theaters. So I was happy to support this one, but I don't think I was the target demo they were going for, or the 7 people in the theater who saw it with me on its opening weekend on Saturday, or the 5 that stayed till the end of the film because 2 walked out. All right. Here we go. All right, The Bachelor, season 24. Now, Geiger, we didn't get to talk about this last episode, so I briefly want to take us back to episode 5, which was 2 episodes ago. And Banner, you're going to love this quote. So It's The Bachelor, right? The premise is, 20 girls all competing to marry one dude, right?
Yeah.
So a girl who voluntarily goes on this show named Kelsey has this quote in episode 5, quote, "I don't like competing with other girls for attention," end quote.
Okay. I mean...
do you see the problem here with going on The Bachelor?
It's like Michael Phelps going to the Olympics is like, I'm not a big fan of getting wet.
Yeah. Or Anakin living on Tatooine. I'm not a big sand guy, so... I was like, hun, that's literally... If you go to info on your TV guide for The Bachelor, what does it describe the show as? Women compete. Like, I think compete is like the second word.
I think that is the second word, yeah.
All right, another great quote that I had, because we all love when the internet tears someone down who's not fucking doing anything to them. Sydney in episode 4, I believe, said, all her time in high school, she was bullied so much that she ate lunch alone in the bathroom every day, right?
I don't believe that.
Well, last week, photos surfaced of Sydney, the homecoming queen, at her high school. And Twitter had a field day. They were like, ate lunch in the bathroom alone?
Yeah.
While she's like getting fucking showered in rose petals. I just thought, I don't know. I just thought that was great.
What is wrong with people?
You can't lie about anything anymore. I don't know why people don't say this.
Did she think that would go over well, though? Like, dude, there's people at home who you went to high school with who are like, what the fuck? You were like the most popular chick in high school. You made me eat lunch in the bathroom alone. Also, that's just not sanitary to eat lunch in the bathroom.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, just don't eat.
All right, real quick, episode 6, before we get to the most recent one. So, Geiger, Victoria, I just have one thing to say about each of the Victorias.
Okay.
So, Peter told Victoria F, he gave her another one-on-one date, and he said, quote, I don't think we got a fair shot on that first one-on-one date, end quote. And I wrote, you mean because she fucked the singer you took her to see in concert? He acts
that
like...
and some other
Wait,
stuff.
did she really?
Yeah. Like, not
And
at
she's
the
still
concert,
on the show?
in the past she did, yeah.
Like in the past, she's like, this is weird for me because I've had, like, she said that they dated, but on the internet they said, the country guy said it was basically a one-night stand.
But Peter acts like some act of God kept them from being together. I'm like, no, she just fucked the dude on stage and it was weird. Like, let's not act like...
That's what I said. Whenever they did that skills challenge with the Cleveland Browns, Peter needed to ask, like, okay, before we start, has anyone here fucked anyone on this team? Like, no? Okay, let's play.
And one of them's like, can I see their current active roster just to make sure?
Just in case.
Because there's a lot of transactions that they make, you know, so I just want to...
Does this include scout team? Oh,
yes, it absolutely... What about special teams? That's 53-man roster, Bethany. Okay, well then yes.
What about the owners?
Office.
Last thing about...
I've recently been to Boston.
Last thing from episode 6, Victoria P handling not getting a rose like a fucking champ.
Yeah.
Not. It reminded me of myself like sophomore year when I found out I was going to be on the JV basketball team and I just ripped my coach on my Zynga page. Like, so classless. I fucking loved her exit.
I never really liked her. She's probably sharing a drink right now with her alky mom, listening to us, of course. But I never really cared for her after a while. Because whenever she wiped the tear off another girl's eye and acted like she really cared, even though she didn't know her, I was like, I'm out on you.
She's a front runner, dude. While things are going well for her, she's fine. The second shit hits the fan, she's out of control nuts. All right, episode 7. Geiger, I haven't finished it, but you can spoil anything you want. What did you want to say about it?
Oh yeah, I'll talk about the final four. For one, I loved the lawyer chick's kind of strategy going into this. She's like, I don't even have to talk to Peter because these two chicks are so fucking fucked up that they're gonna just ruin it for themselves, but actually backfired on her. I'm gonna say one thing. Madison was my front runner, but now that she's come out and basically kind of hid how religious she really is to Peter, and you'll see later when they do next week on The Bachelor that she's saving herself for marriage. Her parents are extremely religious and all this stuff.
I don't believe that either.
I don't
Peter's
know.
gonna
TV show competing for a guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that goes with him. I think the best person that goes with him is Kelsey. I think they have the most connection. But
they're both super
I can't believe you guys.
lame.
Okay, Geiger, you cannot make fun of me for liking High School Musical, the series anymore. You are dissecting The Bachelor.
My turn to talk, sir.
He's not
if
wrong,
you can
yeah.
just give me a second. I wasn't finished at all. And Victoria P, I'm just waiting for. I've read some stuff on the internet, some chatter, if you will, Jeff, that she has ruined more than a couple marriages and has gone kind of she's a whore, as they say in the olden terms. So I'm thinking that's going to come up too whenever you see the next week on The Bachelor.
She just wants to get far enough to possibly be the Bachelorette.
Yeah. And Hannah Ann just wants to win. She knows she's like way too hot for Peter, but she just wants to win. So my pick is I think he's going to pick Hannah Ann. He should pick Kelsey. But I don't think he's going to go with the most religious chick, even though I think that's who his parents are going to lean him towards.
You know who might end up being the Bachelorette, and I don't really know how this works because it's the first season I've ever seen, but I don't think any of these chicks have the personality to do it. They might go like Tammy or McKenna.
They usually go with the most like popular chick, and it doesn't have to be in the final four. I don't think Hannah was in the final four. That Hannah Brown girl.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like to see McKenna maybe.
Hannah Ann would be a good Bachelorette, but I think Peter's too attracted to her. He's going to pick her to win, especially knowing he can actually bone her and he can't bone Madison.
And also the whole time I'm looking at Peter's head, all I see is a vagina. That scar is weird. I don't know how he got that on a golf cart. Ask Nate Thurman about that.
Have you not seen the video?
So many times.
No,
I've never got a scar from it.
He hit his head on the golf cart and like his reaction moved his head into a glass that was in his hand. He smashed the glass.
Whatever. He's a fucking dildo.
Dude, he is the most awkward, like horrible. He's just a fucking lame-o, man. He's
just kind of a pussy too. That's why I think he goes well with Kelsey, because Kelsey's more kind of dominant.
Well, except for when they were on the mountainside and Kelsey goes, I just think a woman should stay home. And he's like, oh, so you're literally here, you're not going to work ever? Or like, what's up?
Well,
And then when
none of
she
them
was
really
talking,
have jobs. Being a fashion blogger isn't really a job, Jeff.
okay, check
Please.
yourself.
Yeah.
My God. Did you even say that? Who are you?
Yeah.
Uh,
And neither is a food critic.
I cannot wait though if Kelsey makes it to final two or whatever, or I don't know how it works. But if she won't be, but if she's the next bachelorette, her dad for the third time is going to come out of the woodworks and try and reconnect with her.
Oh yeah. Just like Bobby Boucher's dad.
We're gonna be like that Tiger Woods and his
I
daddy.
I really hope he shows up drunk next week to hometowns and just ruins everything. Meeting the parents, we need to just do a review on just the hometown is my favorite episode. When they meet the parents, it's fucking great.
Peter's gonna meet Madison's parents and be like, "Are you this hot?" I'm really trying to decide here. All right, that's all I had for protein shake. Anyone else have anything, or do we need to get to that question Boehner wanted to ask?
Nope, never mind. That was bad.
No, I think it was fine.
No, it wasn't good.
Well,
like-
Boehner was trying to say bruh or bruh. That's our
Bruh.
question and answer segment called "Do You Even Lift Bruh?" where we leave you with a question that we want to discuss. Our question today: Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn did a paltry $33 million at the box office in its opening weekend. DC has gone back to the drawing board and they think they figure out what the issue is and retitled the film while in theaters. I've never heard of this happening. Harley Quinn, semicolon, Birds of Prey, to highlight Margot Robbie's titular character. So, Matt, problem solved, right?
Problem not solved, Jeff. First off, you brought up a great question. Has this ever happened before? I would Google it, but Google would say that's a stupid question. Why would anyone ever change the marketing material that basically you've worked over? I mean, nowadays over a year for. I mean, we've heard about this movie over a year, and it's not Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn's not in Birds of Prey. You don't have Catwoman. You don't have Poison Ivy. This is in Birds of Prey. It's not. So this is just. Haven't we learned our lesson from Ghostbusters and Charlie's Angels? Like, haven't we learned our lesson? You can't have all this. You can't have these feministic movies because not every woman is like that. Some women like to see Gal Gadot work out and hot as shit, like just go kick ass and not be like a trying to teach you about femininity the whole fucking time. We won't learn our lesson, man. I don't know. This movie, after hearing what Jeff's review was, this doesn't have a fucking prayer at all. And the worst thing is they're blaming Suicide Squad because of this.
Oh my god. Well,
fair.
you greenlit the movie when you knew what happened with Suicide Squad. I'll just say this, man. I loved Wonder Woman. It's my favorite DCEU movie. I really liked Captain Marvel. I'm jacked as hell to go see Black Widow. I'm pumped to see The Eternals, which is Angelina Jolie's the main star of it. But don't get mad when guys don't go see these movies. When you spend the entire time in Birds of Prey telling me that my gender is a piece of shit, like, then I'm not going to pay $20 to go see it. And you know who else isn't paying to go see this? Women or anyone else. Because there was 7 people in my theater, a 200-seat auditorium the Saturday it came out. And there were 5 by the end of the movie. So, like, I just don't know who this is for. The movie just came across as really, really angry. And that's not a good reason to make a film, I don't think. Painter, anything you want to add?
I cannot wait for like 15, 20 years from now when the documentary comes out of how/why Warner Brothers couldn't create a DC connected universe. I cannot wait to watch that documentary.
I can wait for that.
I want to see what the
see
fuck is going. It's not. I don't know. It's not that hard. Marvel gave you a blueprint, literally said, "Hey, do this."
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
You also have better characters because we
Better
don't have
villains?
all our characters.
And you want to know the funny
Better
thing?
villains.
I've never liked this feud. We've tried to stop it all the time. But on like a couple like Facebook news posts, I saw like Joaquin Phoenix won for Joker, and they're like, "It's fucking over. DC wins." I was like, dude,
No, they don't.
what are you talking about? Like, you're a fucking mess. And it kills me to say that because I think Batman has the best rogues gallery in all of comics. and they fucked whatever.
So actually, Jeff, this is a fact that I looked up, and it's very interesting. So on opening weekend, more women saw this movie other than Harley Quinn and Charlie's Angels, and it was fucking Rambo last year. More women went to see Rambo than went to see Harley Quinn and fucking Charlie's Angels. And another thing, what pisses me off so much is when they're like, there's not enough women in these comics. There's not enough African American in these comics. Well, what I say to you, don't recreate Spider-Man and make him a woman. Be Stan Lee. Create a new fucking comic thing. Create a new comic universe. Start writing comics, make them into movies, and do all that. Don't take a male franchise like Oceans and make it women. Create like a woman secret agent. Create that. Just like you did. Perfect example with Catching Fire. That's what you need to do. Those were great fucking movies. They weren't stolen from something that you didn't take Robin Hood and make it, a woman. You basically created a totally different story and built up characters that way. That's what you need to do.
Or get like Jordan Peele to do it. He could make a movie called Flim Flam and the Pee-Pee Plane. I'd go fucking see it opening night. And it would probably be the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, I'm just sick. It's all these excuses, man. And when I go see the film and you just seem so angry and you're telling me I fucking suck instead of actually taking this opportunity and this $150 million WB and DC gave you to make a film, like, tell me a story. Don't tell me I suck so bad. What is that?
I don't know. That was weird.
Are you playing Sonic the Hedgehog?
No.
Probably his delivery pizza guy saying he's at the front door. I don't know.
All right, I think that's a good one for us to end on. Anything you want to leave the people with, Geiger?
No.
Painter, just the usual.
Get out of my house.
Yep. Just make sure you pull over for emergency vehicles, please.
All right, for Enforcer in the Paint, Matt Geiger, the Mad Scientist, Brian Banner. I am the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys for checking out the Bro4 Squad podcast. Please follow us on Twitter at Bro4 Squad. Find all of our reviews on letterboxd.com. Type in Bro Force Squad, 3 separate words. Put those same 3 words into iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and subscribe to us there and check out everything that we do on our website, bro4squad.com. Till next time, we'll see you later. Should we call the podcast Jeff Hornacek, the Bro4 Squad podcast?
Let's just, every time we have a video that doesn't do well, let's just rename the pod. Problem solved.
Yeah, I like that.
Less than 50 views, not just retitle it. Fucking confuse people.
Yeah, we'll just rename it.
You know, there's like 15-year-old kids working at a movie theater. He's like, so I gotta take down this fucking marquee that I put all the letters in that says Birds of